How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows, especially in the classroom. Imagine greeting your students each morning with messages that inspire, inform, and engage. Welcome back to my channel. I'm April, an educator for over 15 years. Here, we're going to explore some practical strategies that you can use in your classroom during morning meetings to make it a place of positivity and learning. We're going to talk specifically about crafting those effective morning meeting messages. We want to make sure every morning counts. So grab your favorite beverage, maybe even a notebook and a pen, and let's get started. Morning messages aren't just about sharing information. It's about making that meaningful connection with your students right from the start of the day. So we want to think about some key points when crafting our actual morning messages. First, we want to set the tone for the day. Your morning message sets the emotions for the day in a different way. So our students are already coming into school feeling things. How do we want to help set that emotion for the day within the classroom? So whether maybe it's a quote, a fun fact, a positive affirmation, choose words that are going to uplift and motivate your students. Second, we want to make it relevant. Tie your message to what the students will learn or experience during the day. This helps them see the connection between the message and their daily activities. We also want to make sure that we include interactive elements within our morning message. So encourage student participation by posing a question, giving a challenge, or have them reflect on something within the message. This creates critical thinking and discussion during your morning meeting and beyond. We also want to keep it brief and clear. Morning messages should be very concise and easy to understand. Think about how you could use visuals, like maybe charts or drawings, to enhance that clarity and comprehension for your students. Speaking of visuals, that's the fifth part, is how to incorporate those visuals. So when we're thinking about our morning message and we want to incorporate visuals, we want to think about how is it going to make the message more memorable and appealing. So like one of my first thoughts is like a question that you could pose, like a would you rather? Would you rather be a shark or a whale? And you could have a visual to go with each one. Just a small way you can add in that visual component for your students. Use this to reinforce any kind of key points or concepts that you're doing. Or if you have a set expectation for them of a routine to follow in the morning, you could have visuals to go with that. So maybe for the first thing that they have to do is put their materials away. Then they make their lunch choice. Then they do their morning work. If you have a visual for each of those components, it makes it much more easy because then they can see exactly what they need to do. And the last part that we can do is make sure that we celebrate our students. And so think about what student work could you feature, what achievements or shout outs that you could put within your morning message. This helps build that sense of community within the classroom and really helps validate the students and the efforts that they are making. If you are liking this so far, make sure you click that like button and stay tuned for some practical tips on making those morning messages effective and creative. Okay, first we want to think about how can we vary our messages to keep them interesting and relevant. I'm going to give you a personal example. On the board every morning, I always had the same things listed in the first couple columns. We had a word of the day, and then I always did a fun meme as well. Guess what the students paid attention to the most? the word of the day, and the meme, because it was different every day. I always had, here's what you need to do, and then you may do this. Well, they're not reading it because it's not different all the time. And so this really made me think about, how can I switch this up? So maybe I'm going to try something more thematic this year. Like, I can have a motivational Monday or a fun fact Friday to keep the students engaged and really thinking about what they need to be doing, but also reading through the message and really knowing what's going on. Second tip for you is you can tie the morning message to current events or even maybe a seasonal theme. So this is going to make your students pay attention to the messages because it's going to be timely and relatable for them. So for example, maybe your students are really into Taylor Swift and what she's doing right now. Okay, we'll tie it into that. Maybe they're really focused on the World Cup. Tie it into that. All kinds of different ways you can really think about, what are your students interested in? How can you keep them involved in that morning message within the morning meeting? You can even do something seasonal related. So if you are focusing on a specific holiday and including that into the classroom, then you can tie in some different facts, information, etc. into the message as well. Third tip is to personalize those messages to make them unique for your individual students with a connection. So you can shout out any achievements that any students have made, or a challenge to show that you care about them. Even if it's their birthday, ways that you can recognize that in front of the whole class that makes them feel special and cared about. Fourth, you want to plan ahead and prepare your messages in advance. Now, I wouldn't go too far in advance. Maybe have it ready for the next week or two at the most, but then this allows you to kind of align them to what are you doing in your curriculum, maybe any special events or holidays coming up. For example, my class last year did a project where they had to research and learn about the red pandas, and then they had to present an enrichment activity for parent open house. And so I had all kinds of different red panda activities for us during our morning meetings for the week. So think about, what can you do to make your students more engaged and having fun, even with those morning messages during that time. This will also help you save time on those busy mornings. No one wants to come in feeling rushed and frantic and saying, it is what it is today. I mean, it happens, true. But if you can do at least a week in advance, it really helps alleviate a lot of that stress. And the last thing is, you definitely want to reflect on the impact of your messages. So take notes or focus on what are your students responding to, and adjust your approach as needed to really create that engagement with those messages. So for example, if there's something unique and it's really not being paid attention to, but you have maybe one or two students who noticed, call them out and give them praise. The other students will pick up on it much more quickly. All right, there you have it. There's 10 different morning message ideas and practical tips for you to be able to use within your classroom. So I'm curious, how do you start your mornings in your classroom? Please share your ideas down in the comments below, because the more that we can learn together, the more that we can grow together. If you're looking for additional ideas for morning meetings or classroom management, I have more videos here on my YouTube channel that you can check out. And if you're looking for more tips and resources, you can check out my website, teachtravelread.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date and you never miss a video. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. And until next time, I love this journey for you.